Hello Neighbor is a name that has been in the gaming world for years. Its vibrant art style and promises of a thrilling stealth-based experience have drawn in countless players, and its popularity has spawned sequels, spin-offs, and an animated series. With so much buzz surrounding the game, I felt compelled to finally give it a try, despite how old it is. My expectations were high, fueled by its reputation as a unique and exciting title. However, my time with Hello Neighbor left me not just underwhelmed, but actively frustrated and baffled. Today I'm going to break down exactly why Hello Neighbor is the worst game I've ever played. The first thing that hits you when playing Hello Neighbor is just how broken it feels. Glitches are everywhere, ranging from mildly irritating to game-breaking. Objects clip through walls, your character can get stuck in random parts of the environment, and the AI behaves in a way that can only be described as laughably incompetent. For a game that has been out for years, these problems are inexcusable. The developers have had ample time to patch these issues, but they still persist, making it clear that the player experience was never their priority. Even something as simple as picking up and placing objects is fraught with bugs. Items sometimes disappear entirely or refuse to interact with the environment in the way that they're supposed to. This game's physics system is another disaster, with objects flying off in random directions or behaving unpredictably when touched. It's as though the game is actively working against you, not because of clever design, but because of poor programming. You might think that over the years the developers would have ironed out the game's many issues. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Hello Neighbor feels lazily thrown together, and that laziness extends to its post-launch support. Bugs that were present in early builds of the game remain untouched, giving the impression that the developers abandoned the project the minute it became profitable. Animations are clunky, environments are not detailed, and the overall presentation is amateurish. The neighbor himself, the supposed star of the game, moves in a stilted robotic manner that drains any potential menace from his character. For a game that was hyped as a stealth horror experience, this lack of attention to detail is unforgivable. Speaking of horror, let's talk about the game's failed attempts to scare the player. The jump scares, if you can even call them that, are laughably bad. Instead of the neighbor lunging at you or even attempting to kill you, he just lightly scratches your face and takes you back to your house safe and sound. Even Granny, of all games, has a better jump scare than Hello Neighbor, because at least she tries to kill you. When the neighbor catches you, the screen lags, the sound design is underwhelming, and the neighbor's reaction is so mild that it's hard to take seriously. He just looks more annoyed than menacing. And when you leave the neighbor's range of sight, he just completely forgets about you and goes back on with his day. Horror relies on atmosphere and tension, both of which are entirely absent from the Hello Neighbor game. The colorful, cartoonish aesthetic doesn't fit with the supposed tone of the game, and there's no real sense of danger. The neighbor's AI is too predictable to be threatening, and the lack of stakes makes the entire experience feel toothless. If you're looking for a game that will keep you on the edge of your seat, this is not it. If the horror doesn't frustrate you, the puzzles certainly will. Hello Neighbor's puzzles are so poorly designed that they border on incomprehensible. Progressing through the game often requires actions that are completely illogical, forcing most players to rely on guides to make any headway. There's no sense of satisfaction in solving the puzzles because they rarely make any sense within the context of the game. For example, one puzzle requires you to throw objects through a specific window to trigger an event, but there's no indication that this is what you need to do. The game provides no meaningful clues, leaving you to fumble around aimlessly until you either stumble upon the solution by accident or give up and look it up online. The lack of intuitive design turns what should be an engaging gameplay element into a chore. Adding to the frustration is the game's abysmal control scheme. Movement feels sluggish and unresponsive, and interacting with objects is an exercise in patience. Buttons often don't do what they're supposed to do, and the lack of clear tutorials means that you'll spend the first hour of the game just trying to figure out how the basic mechanics work. The controls are so unintuitive that they make even the simplest of tasks feel like monumental challenges. Want to pick up an object? Good luck getting the game to recognize your input. Trying to crouch and sneak past the neighbor? Better be prepared for the clunky mechanics to betray you at the worst possible moment and make you stand up right as he walks by. It's clear that little thought was made into optimizing the controls, which only adds to the overall sense of laziness that this game has. Literally in the very first puzzle of the game, you are tasked with picking up a box and throwing it at the neighbor's window to break in. Easy, right? It's only 2 steps. No. You have to click the interact button maybe 30 times before your character finally agrees to pick up the box, and then when you throw the box, instead of it actually being launched in the air, the box just falls right at your feet. In conclusion, Hello Neighbor is a game that had potential, but it's squandered at every turn. From its glitchy mechanics and its lazy design to its underwhelming scares and baffling puzzles, there's little to recommend here. It's a game that feels more like a rough draft than a finished product, and its enduring popularity only proves the power of marketing rather than quality. If you've been considering trying Hello Neighbor based on its reputation, I urge you to reconsider. It's not worth it. There are countless better games out there that respect your time and intelligence. Hello Neighbor, unfortunately, is not one of them. It's just a bad game, and it's not worth your $20. And I'm sorry to say the sequels aren't much better. And sorry for going on such a tangent in this video, but this game really pissed me off. Now, before I end this video, I would like to thank Gamers Little Playground, Awesome Bach, Gaming with ACK, Video Game News, SDalt, and SC Uprakov for all of the clips included in this video. And thank you all so much for watching.